The American dream. You might see her heavily made-up face smiling and waving, wearing tight midriff-bearing clothing and shaking her assets seductively for the camera, driving a Mercedes. But in reality it's unclear what she does or who she does to keep her job. Word on the street is that she's doing more than just posing. We think a certain sales manager could tell us so much more. Or an ex-wife could. For it's she, and their kids, who are paying the price for whatever it is these girls are bringing to the table. Are they there for other purposes? You be the judge. At some point there has to be some accountability. People are lying and making promises they just can't keep. The customers. To these all too young and no longer innocent girls. And then they are turning around and promising a paradise that doesn't exist, making easy money by being easy. Conning people who eventually invest their life savings to have it stolen right out from under them while law enforcement and government agencies do nothing. Meanwhile, the reports keep coming in from those who have been illegally foreclosed on by John Harris and his ilk. Because meanwhile, it's business as usual at Terrenos Houston. Mothers who are trying to get anyone, from the government to listen to what has happened in their community. Neighbors foreclosed on and now living in their car. Others with no water, bathing and drinking out of a neighbor's hose. People who have been swindled into buying land for $80,000 only to find out that it's worth a tiny fraction of that when tragedy strikes, and they are forced to sell. Tens of thousands of dollars down the drain. All day every day at Terrenos Houston and Colony Ridge. Hundreds if not thousands of families impacted negatively by their experience at these housing developments. What's more, these shady developers corrupt immigrant communities even more by hiring other immigrants to stalk anyone who goes against Terrenos Houston. We have reports of goons sitting in their cars watching and waiting and intimidating law-abiding citizens Scientology style, even going so far as to rent apartments in the same complexes to spy on and watch and intimidate those who have tried to take on John Harris and company for its rampant corruption. Meanwhile, it's business as usual at Terrenos Houston and Colony Ridge. Promised paradise, but this instead. Flooding. Raw sewage pouring out of the ground. Sex crimes. Drunk drivers. Thugs on loose. Criminal mob boss-like behavior on the part of the powers that be. We are a rapidly growing